welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys will join the discussion. As I tell you guys every week, I'm not here to preach. I hope that you guys will be a part of this discussion. You know, tell me what to think, whether I agree, disagree, you know, the feelings, whatever it is that y'all are feeling, let me know, all right? So today's discussion, tips for a successful long-distance relationship. So let's get right into it. Long-distance relationships. I'm sure we've all heard about this and maybe even considered this once or twice. Many have attempted it without success. Many have vowed never to try it. And many are successfully making their long-distance relationship work. So, also note, many relationships have even started in the traditional way, but eventually become long-distance relationships due to opportunities that may have arisen for one or both partners in a relationship. So, in short, long-distance relationships aren't as shunned as they once were. With how advanced the internet is, improvements in technology and globalization, long-distance relationships aren't as hard as they used to be. Please note, though, that I never said that they were easy. I just said they aren't as hard as they used to be. So, having texting, WhatsApp, and video calling at our fingertips make maintaining a long-distance relationship more manageable. But technology, however, cannot compensate for everything in this type of relationship. So, of course, many things are not possible due to the extra distance. Things could get complicated, and you might feel lonely and sad at times. Hold on, I'm going to see a response. Albert said, tip, don't do it. It's not possible unless you like bun. Right? Yeah, and then Poetic said, Albert, you okay? Right? Albert. So, of course, many things are not possible due to the extra distance. Things could get complicated and you might feel lonely and sad at times. However, the extra distance also makes the simplest of things the sweetest. Being able to hold the other person's hand, eating together at the same table, feeling each other's touch or embrace, taking a walk together, or even simply just seeing their face, their expressions, or their smiles in person. These small gestures will mean so much more in a long-distance relationship. So, of course, there are pros and cons to these types of relationships, just like how there are pros and cons to everything in life. However, it is not something that we should be afraid to try. So, Fantastic Fridays would like to share 10 tips with anyone considering or is already in a long-distance relationship. Tips on how to make this type of relationship successful. So, we're going to get into it. Tip number 1, and gentlemen, feel free to add in the feedback. If you say, yeah, that makes sense, Kim, no, or just overall, just throw it away. Just let me know as well, all right? So, number 1. Set some ground rules to manage your expectations. All right? So if you're in a long-distance relationship, both of you need to be clear with what you expect and need from each other during this time, and set some ground rules so that neither of you will do things that will take the other party by surprise or destroy your relationship. For instance, are you too exclusive? Is it all right for your partner to go on dates? What is your commitment level, etc.? It's better to be open with each other about all these things than to commit to something that you may not be able to maintain or honor. So, Rotaract gentlemen, and I agree with this?
To an extent.
To an extent.
Yes.
And Poetic, just Sam said this should be a rule for all relations, really. And that's actually something I learned, Poetic, when I was doing this research. Every single rule here applies to regular relationships as well, right? But to an extent, and I think ground rules should be set. First of all, I want to think about long-distance relationships.
Nope.
It is possible if you set, like, for instance, you set a ground rule for you're in a long-distance relationship and your partner is overseas.
Yeah.
And you can set a rule to say that let's have an open relationship until I get over there or you come here. You can have someone over there, you know, comforting you while I have someone out
The
here
ground
comforting.
rules.
That's the ground rule for me, but we just don't show it up in each other's face. So I'm not going to show it up in your face, you're not going to show it up in my face. So you don't bring it up, I don't bring it up. You
So
just know that I have somebody and you have somebody, but we are still in a
But we're
relationship.
still
So it's basically a leave of absence until
Right,
basically or a hall pass.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
All right, Albert 1876
Put
said
on your
bunnies are
cream
must.
until we get back.
Right.
Albert 1876 said bunnies are must in long distance relationships. Speaking from experience. All right, so we get 2 feedback so far. We get nope. That's all him say. All right, and if there are certain clauses, then he'll support
you
it.
set some guidelines,
Next
so
2
you know what
gentlemen
to
want to
expect.
say yes, no, maybe so.
No, for me, I don't. Well, it's possible.
Uh-huh.
I don't think personally I would.
You would take up the challenge.
take up that challenge.
Well, all things are possible through Christ. First of all,
Man, united prayer fast.
all right. I've been in a medium distance before in terms of in town and the person was in
Country.
country. So and I guess it would apply for overseas because with overseas obviously you'll see each other less depending on how
Yeah.
often persons
Definitely.
travel. So I think that the more distance there is between the parties,
The more difficult.
the more difficult unless you have the foundation of communication and openness. Because if you don't have that
Then
in any relationship, that is
Kinda
over
dark.
with. Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. I saw.
Yeah, so I have a point. Like I said before, it's possible. For example,
but just not for you.
not for me.
Uh-huh.
For example, that person's living in America. I think you'd have to set up monthly visit. So whether you're going to pay for the tickets or she's going to pay for the tickets,
She
whichever
pay
way.
for the ticket,
But I think just having some personal time, the telephone cannot give you that.
Yeah.
You can have that conversation over the phone. It's okay, but for how long? That person is going to miss you.
I like that. You
Miss
see.
that physical touch,
Yeah.
And I think, regardless of how loyal somebody is, the
Yeah.
mind will stray, and that's where it all begins in the mind. So, I think it's possible, but it's a challenge.
You're dropping some gems here, sir. It all begins in the mind. The mind will stray and all these things. Albert, very active in this conversation. Albert, I love it.
Be triggered again.
If the person lives in another parish or country, I think it's a sign. If the creator, if the creator wanted that person for you, they would let them live close enough.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Keeping it simple.
Albert very triggered. Albert is extremely
Okay, we
triggered.
should draw.
And she game ball.
Albert, that's a read
Listen,
Albert get bunny now one.
Albert, I love the feedback, Albert. Trust me, keep it coming. But I like how you guys drop some points because it's actually a part of the rules that I have. So we're not saying at all that it's not possible. Nobody here is saying it. Nobody here has said it, well, except for the nope. Right?
I have one thing to add. For me, if your love language is not physical touch or quality time,
Then
sure. But if
Yeah, that's
your love language is quality time and physical touch, that will
It's
never.
gonna be difficult.
And then it's gonna be tricky too, cause it's not one person in the relationship.
Exactly,
That
so-
even though yours might not be it,
the next
there's a good
person.
chance it
So-
might be the other
High
person's.
love language.
So yeah.
I like that. Poetic said, Albert, so the Lord himself did not want this to happen. All right. Well, that was tip number 1. Set some ground rules. So if it is that you're going to try this long distance relationship and have a conversation, know what is allowed, what's not allowed, one can't work with, one can't work with. All right. Number 2, try to communicate regularly and creatively. So send each other good morning and good night messages every day. This is a must. On top of that, try to update your partner on your life and its happenings, however mundane or simple some of the things may seem. Step things up and feel free to send each other pictures, audio clips, and videos from time to time. By putting in this kind of effort, you make the other person feel loved, attended to, and very involved in your life. You could be getting dressed for work, shopping for groceries, or just have a difficult decision to make. Communicate about this with your partner and get their input or advice. This will aid in mentally narrowing that distance between you two and help you both to feel like a team. And it is important to note, however, that you should avoid excessive communication. As we already know, too much of anything is never good for you. So excessive communication can take the fun out of things and make communication with your partner seem more like a chore or burden than something to look forward to. So how much communication is too much communication? That is dependent on you and your partner.
I mean, just take us say some people talk enough, you know. So.
Yes.
Listen.
But when you say no, probably when you say excessive, no, you mean like probably too. What do you call that? Too.
Reach a point when
too
not
much.
nothing for talk about.
Like,
just silence.
I call a blouse you have, like it just get out. I know there's too much foolishness.
Yes.
What time your clock I say?
The show I go on now. Should the man just let the man?
Right, exactly.
No, sir. All right, I get you.
Right, so yeah, communication is important. Of course, in long distance, you guys are going to have to make up some way for the distance. And people do that with communication. But as much as it's important, you can also go overboard where eventually you might get a phone call and say, Lord God, I talked to you 2 minutes ago. You don't really want to reach them levels there, you know? So I can't tell you how much is enough.
Right.
How much is too much. That's really between you and the person. Because some people will talk all day and
Yes,
don't
let
see
them
a
talk.
problem.
But sometimes you might not be the talker of the relationship.
Exactly.
So,
right?
It depends on how you know make it work.
But you guys have to communicate to keep things going, keep things interesting, because you already know distance is already a factor. So when you make the effort, I know persons who they fall asleep on the phone together. They literally do. WhatsApp call each other, leave the phone there, fall asleep, wake up back. Yeah.
High school free nights.
I mean, as
WhatsApp call
as
is
an-
free
yeah.
once you have Wi-Fi or data.
I
No, you
am
must
saying
say,
back in
but-
high
Oh,
school.
but yeah,
That used to
10
be
to
the thing.
6, 10 p.m. to 6 or something.
11.
Or 11
Nights
to
and
6.
weekends.
So you know, we never use it that much, right?
Yeah, man. There was a 10 to 6 and then them.
There was a 10 to 6, yeah. Pretty nice. Yeah, wait up and sleep a box here.
Then they took it back to 11
You
to
walk.
7, like.
Yep. Yep.
They call everybody and put them on conference.
I like that Riatzia says, Sir Albert, remember that people get born living in the same house. And I'm not talking Easter.
Wow.
It is more than just distance. So really, is it distance that's a problem? And then in, how you pronounce this? INVLGRN says, chat too much or little and you get born same way. Why everybody talking about bun? Why is everybody
trigger
talking
people.
about bun?
Everybody.
Listen,
Tim,
I
we
was
need
a
to have
trauma. A bun segment.
A bun counseling seminar.
But don't have conditions.
Yeah.
Bun receiver
Clearly.
anonymous or something
Yeah,
like that, you know?
we need something like that. Because a lot of persons out there are hurting.
As bun, you know.
Yeah?
No, we need to have a little...
Flirt, ladies will classify that. Oh, yeah, give me a bun.
No, well, you see the worst thing about
Uh-huh.
it, usually when ladies classify it as bun, that's usually because they are very flirtatious, which is very rare. Like the persons who are doing it a lot, when they see the other partner do it, they
Yeah,
have a cuss.
yeah.
So it's very hilarious when they see it happen.
So you see it.
My partner would not, we not see, not hurt you, you know.
Wow.
No, we're not getting into that. And you know, on that note, number 3 says avoid dangerous or relationship threatening situations. Right? After him say, well, you know, see, you know. So
I not see art not leap or
Yeah, yeah.
So if you already know that going out to the club and getting drunk or having men or women visiting your place, especially at night,
Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chilling with other people,
Right.
or flirting with people who aren't your partner will displease them, then 1, you should either not do it at all, or 2, communicate your plans with your partner beforehand to reassure them. You should try your best not to let this sort of thing occur or become a frequent occurrence in your relationship, as it will only make your partner extra worried or suspicious and cause feelings of distrust. So I personally like to avoid putting myself in compromising situations or situations that will potentially have me second guessing the right decision. So when making certain decisions, put yourself in your partner's shoes to see if it is something that you would be comfortable with if the roles were reversed. So rule number 3, and avoid certain things altogether.
Yeah.
If you know on the struggles, I'm always tell people know the struggles. Know the struggles and avoid certain scenarios. Relationships are difficult enough on its own. So if you know, say, you have a weakness, whether it's somebody what, you know, you find them attractive.
Yeah.
or you realize that we not talk a bit too often. Things are get really personal. Now it move from hey, what's up to you start cheer, all kind of things. No, we're not creating our own problems.
But question, what if you can't control it?
And the ladies them too, Kim. The ladies them always say, girls hotel weekend.
Right?
Or the only other female there are the housekeeper.
Sir, you've been through. You okay?
No, I said,
Are you okay?
these things
You okay?
happen, Kim.
A friend you talk about?
Yeah, I
or?
want to sip on social media.
Okay, let's check.
Safe place.
Yeah.
But I got a question just now saying, what if you're not able to control it? If you're not able to control it, that's one of the ground rules that you need to set. So it's either you're with somebody who can manage it,
Right.
or you're with somebody who, if it's not something that can work with you, leave them alone.
For example, if you know you're a person like you have a lot of close female friends.
Yeah.
Right? You check with your partner. If your partner said, no, that me can't work with that, then you know, say you can't
You just
work
can't
with
do with the person there.
problem
Because that's
right
how it
through.
is. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, but I
Right.
try make that extra effort. I try change them to be okay with what you're okay with. It's gonna be a problem along the way.
Male friends, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can't take too much of the
Yeah.
testosterone.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So these are part of the ground rules. Understand where your partner
Where you
lies
can
and
manage,
work with.
and that's why.
But question, she come and see me all of my female friends.
Right, so but that means that she had the one then. You get me?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Most females are like that,
No man. so-
No.
Not
That's why,
most.
that's why it's hard to find.
Most of them are buck up
That's why
on
it's
that.
hard to find the so-called good person or the right person.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to find them because usually the norm not gonna really get along with you. That's why you have to wait probably look 1 more week or 2 months
My mother
for the right person.
Good female, them no make again.
No, good females and good men are still made.
Yeah.
Them just.
Them-
You have to
they're
look.
just-
You have to
they're
spend
taken,
time.
they're taken.
No, but it's not only that,
No.
People are just rushing into things without genuinely
Yeah.
getting to know people.
Yeah.
So there may be good people there, but because somebody either catch your eye before the next person,
Right.
or what am I talking right now that you want to hear? You know, you look for nothing else, but you like how that speech you're on. You go there first and completely ignore that person. It happens all the time.
So many distractions.
So many distractions
But
are around.
just quickly, I think in today's world, in
Yeah.
today's dating world, I should say, based on how we are now in this modern era, personally, this is my view.
Yeah.
The ability to compromise or that trait has been lost throughout the last couple of generations.
No, you know what I think is happening? I like how you pointed that out. What I think, you see, we're in a cancel culture.
Right.
Everybody's quick to be like, yo, I'm gonna run for cut off people. I'm gonna need
Yeah,
nobody.
not working with this,
Or me
not
one
working
bot.
with that,
And because
yeah.
that is celebrated,
Yeah.
that is what
Yeah.
everybody's now trying. Or if you're not stay so,
Yeah.
try it because that's what everybody's saying.
I know the most hilarious thing you mentioned compromise. I don't think that's the problem, The hilarious thing is just that, based on how I've seen it. Like, for example, so you find a girl and she says she's finding a good guy. She will not compromise for a good guy,
Right.
but she will compromise for,
for the
a
germs,
waste
them.
man.
Yeah,
For a
man.
waste man.
And the same thing happens for the guys as well. You see a good girl, but you won't compromise for her. She says, oh, you got to take me out, 2 days a week, or we got to do something nice. You won't do that for the good girl. But the Yamed, no, them guys
Yeah, man.
are trip on the beach. So it's very weird nowadays that we don't compromise for who we should.
Yeah.
But a lot of compromise.
I usually ask, why is it that good people don't find good people?
That is the
I
problem.
don't usually see that. It's rare. It happens, but it's rare.
The problem is that there are so many distractions, and that's what mashes me up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So number 4, do things together. After this, we'll go to the break.
Yeah.
Do things together. Play a game online together. Watch a documentary or a movie at the same time, or even a series that you both aren't allowed to watch without the other. Go on video call dates. Most restaurants these days provide Wi-Fi to their guests, so take advantage of this. You can even shop together and try on outfits for each other via video calls. There are so many things you can do together regardless of the distance. You really just have to be creative and spontaneous about it. All right, so if you're just joining in, because I see a few persons just joining in, we are discussing tips on how to make a long distance relationship successful. All right, so we're gonna go to a break, and when we return, we're gonna discuss the rest of the tips and then have the final part of the rivals battle. All right.
All right, people, you're locked into Fantastic Friday. Lots of interesting things happening. I'm
Yeah, I
learning.
love the discussion
We are
and the
hearing
feedback
views.
on the live.
Yeah. So people don't go anywhere now.
Uh-huh.
The fun continues.